Good morning, everybody. It is Rashida Strober. For those of you that don't know, I am the world's first and only dark skinned activist. I am the creator, the inventor, the designer, the architect of the first platform in history to advocate against what I call darkism, what some call colorism. The platform is called Dark Skin Activism, and I created this platform in 1998. Before there was social media, before there was reality TV, before there was anyone that systematically, continuously, and methodically spoke on dark skin discrimination, aka darkism. The root of dark skin activism came from my experiences being a dark skinned female growing up in the world, not being accepted, not being loved by family, by society. And I used to look for someone to do what I do now and what other people have watched me do over the years and plagiarized my work and never gave me credit, never said I was inspired by Rashida Strober or she's the first one to do this. I look for a person to be the dark skinned activist. I look for a person to speak on the unique experiences that dark skinned people face. I searched high and low. And again, this is very important to put this in context because this was before social media was ever around. This was before reality TV was ever around. Now, where you have people exploiting colorism, people that don't really care about it, never talked about it, and they speak on it now because my hard work, yes, has made it possible for people to speak openly and honestly about being dark skinned. But this didn't exist in 1998. And so I decided to become the dark skin activist because there was nobody talking about colorism, nobody talking about dark skin. No, there was no darkism counseling, no colorism counseling. I offered the first of its kind. Created this brand of speaking on colorism and dark skin from scratch, from my heart. Again, not by watching a video on YouTube because it didn't exist, not by watching somebody on television because it didn't exist. I created it. They say necessity is the mother of invention, and I created it from scratch, from my heart, my soul, and my real life experience. And the thing is this is, I want you to understand this before I continue. People may say to me, people have been talking about dark skin, but that's not what I'm saying. No other dark skinned person decided to take their dark skin experience and create a movement around it. That is what I mean by dark skin activism and me being the first dark skin activist. While there were many dark skinned people, obviously, throughout the world who have been discriminated against for being dark skinned, none of those dark skinned people said, I'm going to start a movement to speak specifically on my dark skin experience. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to write books. I'm going to do plays. No celebrity, not one celebrity did this. Not one person off of social media, because social media didn't exist. No dark skinned actress, no dark skinned singer. No one decided to take their dark skin and build a brand around it. My name is Rashida Strober. I am the first person to do that. This is a fact. You can do your research. And what has happened in the aftermath, because I haven't gotten my just due, and I think that I should have it, because I've taken a lot of battle scars for it. I've taken so much, and people have, I brought it to the internet, when social media came around. And instead of people embracing my message, what they did, actually, they did embrace my message, but they didn't give me credit for it. They took from elements of it and they said, wow, I'm dark skinned or I'm light skinned. This is a great topic. I'm going to take from her platform and I'm not going to give her credit. And that's probably the most hurtful part of darkism. Sorry about that. That's probably the most hurtful part of darkism. Give me 1 second here because my screen went blank here. Because people have not been honest. People have not been honest about where they're getting the idea to talk about dark skin. Because again, while there's millions of dark skinned people, I would even say billions that have gone through darkism, they never said, I'm going to create a movement. They waited until Rashida Strober did it. I brought it on the internet, and then the internet made it possible for people to sit back and watch what you do and then go regurgitate your actual ideas and thoughts. And that's what happened to me. And I pray to God that I don't die and then get my just due, because I want it now. And the fact of the matter is, people are going to call me narcissistic. I can take it. They're going to say you don't own the topic, but they never will be honest and say, you know what, if it had not been for Rashida Strober and Cola Booth, no celebrity, no YouTuber, no body would be talking about dark skin in the way that we do it right now. I am the cornerstone, the foundation of this. And that is all I'm saying. And I'm going to keep saying that because this is what I built. And it came from my soul and it came from my heart. And it's not right that other dark skinned people take from me and steal from me when we know, if you are honest, that there was not other dark skinned people that said, I'm going to create a movement specifically around dark skin. Nobody did that before me. I'm the first person to do that. And everyone else basically copied. And what has happened is the dissemination of my ideas over the last 5 or 6 years is starting to get clouded. That's why I keep making these public announcements. And that's why I keep letting people know this, because it's starting to get lost in the sauce, or it will if I allow it. But I'm here and I'm alive and I'm well, and I'm not going to allow it. So what's happened is, since 2015, when people started to really know about my work as the dark skin activist, because they haven't told the truth and said Rashida Strober, the dark skin activist, is the origin of talking about colorism and talking about dark skin, people with bigger platforms, bigger channels, they stole my material, and now other people have been exposed to that material, and they think that that's the origin of it, and it's actually not. So that's what's happened. And real quickly, I'm going to document my story of how I built the first platform to speak against colorism, dark skin discrimination, and other Black women online stole from me. Yes, they stole. Black women, even on reality TV, and I'm not talking about Tisha Scott. I'm not talking about her. Disclaimer. But they, stole my ideas. You got dark skinned celebrities writing books about dark skin who never talked about dark skin. I've been ripped off and stolen from because I created this. I've been doing this for years. It's just I don't have the big platform. That's the only difference. I don't have access to television like that, or to big name producers like that, or I don't know how to market like this one person that is a marketer who never talked about colorism until she started to steal my work and even ripped off some of my videos. The person already had a platform but didn't talk about colorism. Their content wasn't about colorism. Saw my work, obviously thought it was brilliant, and started ripping me off and built there's Black women on YouTube that have built entire channels off of Rashida Strober. They won't say it because a lot of us are jealous and envious of each other, so we can't admit it. And so I'm going to tell my story in a book called Inventing Dark Skin Activism, the Rashida Strober story. Once again, Inventing Dark Skin Activism, the Rashida Strober story. I'm telling the story of how I created the first platform to address colorism, and I brought it to the internet, and people saw it and they ripped it off and stole it. Black women, even to this day. And I'm very upset about that. But I'm not so upset to not continue my work. And I gave you that background. My website, by the way, is darkskinactivist.com. I gave you that background so that you will understand why I speak on dark skin, why I speak on colorism, because this is what I've been doing since I was 20 years old, since 1998. I created this, so I'm not going to stop. I created and built a brand around my dark skin. First person to ever do this. So I was watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, and Tisha Scott said something, and I'm speaking on her because I believe that she's sincere. I can read people. Unlike these other dark-skinned women, some of these chicks online that I know have plagiarized my work and they're not sincere. They're just looking for views and content. This Tisha Scott was sincere. This is Tisha Scott. Recently, hold on one second. I'm gonna skip back to her. She was talking to her husband, Marsau. Okay. And first of all, I'm trying to get back to Tisha Scott here. Give me a second here. I might just go to my Facebook page. Give me a second so I can keep the the picture up so you guys can see who I'm talking about. But I was watching Love and Marriage Huntsville on OWN, and it's a show about black entrepreneurs. Give me a second, y'all. It's a show about black entrepreneurs that are real estate investors in the real estate game. And this is Marsau and Letitia Scott. And there's another Scott couple, and then there's the Holtz. And then there's the Holtz. And I love this show because it highlights black successful people. And I've been following this show since its first season. I adore this show. Let me just say that. I love all the black couples on here. I love what they're doing, and I'm rooting for all of them to stay together, the light-skinned ones and the dark-skinned ones. So today I was watching the episode, and Marsau and Letitia, who is dark-skinned, and I didn't know this about her, and you could just see the sincerity. You can see the honesty, and she might even use her dark skin as a storyline now, because a lot of dark skinned women are finally doing this. I created this, and I'm not mad at her, okay? Because here's the thing with her. I see the sincerity there. They were having a discussion where Marsau said that his family and her family came from different sides of the tracks, and that really offended Letitia, and it started to bring up a lot of emotional traumas that came up in her childhood. And she talked about growing up in the project. She kind of referenced it. She didn't really go into detail. And then she said how people would say that she was pretty for a dark-skinned girl. And I could tell when she said that, because see, a lot of these chicks online is contrived. They're making it up. They've watched me talk about my dark skin experience, or they watch somebody that's stolen my work, influenced by my work, talk about their dark skin experience, and they will use that as a storyline. That's what's happening in 2020. And I listen, I've seen it go from nobody talking about dark skin, I'm being the first one, me and Cola Booth, to now all these dark skin chicks is using their dark skin for a storyline. I see right through it. I see right through it. Because I've been here from day one. I built the house, so I can call it. But Letitia wasn't doing that. It was a genuine expression of her speaking about what happened to her, and she referenced the issue of dark skin. And before I continue, let me also say this, because I want people to know that I'm being plagiarized and copied. Do not be surprised if you hear someone make a video about this very topic that I'm talking about regarding Letitia Scott of the show, the reality show Love and Marriage Huntsville, and they might title it colorism or something to that effect. I'm calling it darkism, but people are copying my work. People are inspired by me. People plagiarize Rashida Strober. It's a fact. This is what I do. I'm going to keep doing it when all the other people get tired of, pimping colorism. I'm going to keep doing it because it's from my heart and soul. And this is what God put me on earth to do. So I just want to let y'all know that you might even see somebody make a video now about Letitia Scott of Love and Marriage Huntsville, now that they've watched mine, and start talking about colorism or using the same or similar content to what I'm doing. I just want to get that disclaimer out there, because people constantly plagiarize me and they're real sneaky about it. But God gonna give me my just due. So let me keep going with Letitia. When she talked about the pretty for a dark-skinned girl comment, I knew that wasn't a storyline. I could just feel it. She was triggered. And it started out with the comment that her husband Marsau made with the different sides of the track. And it kind of just snowballed from there. And so I felt her pain when she said that. Now, it was the pretty for a dark-skinned girl comment for her, but usually dark-skinned females are associated with being ugly. And so, Letitia Scott is a dark-skinned woman that I'm going to call her an outlier in the Black community, because again, and the reason I'm saying this is because this is how darkism works. Darkism works to where the assumption is automatically made that a dark-skinned woman is not pretty. And if you add in things like her being born, or I'm sorry, her being raised in the projects and things like that. If you add on, and then she has a little bit of a speech impediment. So, these things can work against a dark skinned female. But the thing that's probably saved her is the fact that she's pretty, even though that hurted her. And I get that comment. And let me tell you something. I empathize with Tisha. I felt her on that. I felt her. I felt her. And she's one of the few Black women that has spoken on this that I could tell you that I really felt their sincerity. Cola Booth is another one. I felt her. But that whole, the pretty for a dark skinned girl comments, and I've had many conversations over the years with dark skinned women who have been on the other side of the darkism track where they're considered pretty and an outlier. It's an insult. But at the same time, the ironies here, they're just so compelling. At the same time, the fact that she was pretty is what helped her to escape the harsher impacts of darkism. And I'm happy for her. I like Tisha. Let me tell you something. I am rooting for Tisha because if anybody has really studied dark skin activism and the dark skin activists, you know that my main goal is to bring the Black man back to the dark skinned Black woman in balanced numbers. And I'm so happy to see this beautiful dark skinned woman with a Black man that's successful. Now, I could do a whole nother video on Marsau and what comes across on reality TV in terms of their marriage, because they're putting it out there, but that's not what this is about. I'm just going to praise the fact that this Black man chose this Black woman to build with and build the Black family and build. This is what dark skin activism is all about. And I'm just like, there's no words to describe how happy I am when I see a Black man with a beautiful dark skinned woman like this. It makes my soul, even with all the plagiarism, let me tell y'all something. When I see a Black man with a dark skinned Black woman, that makes my soul sing. Because that tells me that you value your people. You value and you still love Blackness. To the point where you said, I'm going to enter an institution of marriage with a dark skinned woman and create children and create a legacy and continue to build the Black family and the Black community. So I love that. And it's just, again, it's just the irony of the fact that the same thing that I love and I value, the dark skin, is the same thing in terms of darkism that I hate. Because let's just say that Letitia was not considered pretty for a dark-skinned girl. I have to ask the question to myself, would she be in a position to have married a successful Black man? Would this Black man still have chosen her if she wasn't considered pretty? And I think that's the part that Marsau was not empathetic on, because he kept telling her to get over it. And I'm not going to tell Letitia to get over that, because I get it. And she has a right to feel that pain and express it the way that she wants to feel it. Because the fact of the matter is, when you are a dark-skinned woman and you don't look like Letitia, who's very beautiful, you have to, your life chances. Let's get into the issue of life chances. There's a German sociologist, Max Weber, and I don't plagiarize, I'm an academic. So I like to let people know where I am getting certain theories from, certain paradigms from, certain frameworks from. So Max Weber, I always apply the concept of life chances, the sociological concept of life chances, to a dark-skinned person's life chances. Meaning, what impact do certain societal norms have on a dark-skinned person living a happy life? So when we talk about societal norms that affect the politics of a person, the personal economics of a person, we also have to include darkism. So what is the impact of dark skin and darkism on what would it have been if Letitia was not considered to be pretty? Let's say she was a run-of-the-mill in black people's terms, a dark skinned woman that black people would not consider to be beautiful. Let's say me, myself. A lot of black people do not consider me to be beautiful. And they made that known. I wasn't like Letitia with the pretty for a dark skinned girl. So what is the life chances of a dark skinned, what would have been the life chances of Letitia Scott had she not been considered a pretty dark skinned girl? And I think that when she was talking to Marsau and he wasn't understanding, he was telling her to get over it. I think, and this is just my own interpretation, I think that's what she was trying to get across in a sense, that I need you to understand the pain that I went through because of these statements that were associated with my dark skin. And I get it. And I wish he would understand that. It's not something that you can just get over, because she is a grown woman. I believe she's almost 40, looks great. And it still impacts her when certain trigger words comes out of a person's mouth. Same thing with me. Obviously, I'm triggered because I watched this show and I saw Letitia Scott speaking about the comments people made about her being pretty for a dark-skinned girl, and that triggered the dark-skinned activist to make this live. So I understand. I get it. I get it. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I'm just happy that Letitia Scott escaped darkism in that sense. I'm happy that her life chances became great because she escaped the projects. She's not poor. She's married to a successful black man. She's successful. She went to college. They're not in poverty. They're entrepreneurs. And this is what I want for dark-skinned women. I want this for all black women, but this is what I want. This is what I am fighting for. There is a term in my book called systemic economic darkism. And yes, I created that out of my own brain. Don't use my word without giving me credit. I'm tired of people stealing from me. And systemic economic darkism is really what darkism's fight revolves around, because it's economics. It's the personal economy of dark-skinned people. And Letitia Scott is an outlier, and I don't want to see outliers no more. I don't want to see Oprah Winfrey as an outlier. I love these people, but I want to see more dark-skinned people advance socioeconomically, especially socioeconomically and politically. My website is darkskinactivist.com. Once again, darkskinactivist.com. I've written more books on dark skin than anybody in the world. You can go to my website and you can get a free download of my book, Darkism, 25 Ways Dark Skinned People Are Discriminated Against. You can, if you want to purchase a copy from me, you can go to my Cash App, $Rashidalala. Once again, $Rashidalala. And if you buy the books from me directly, my books are $40 each. You can get, I have Darkism available. It's called Darkism, 25 Ways Dark-Skinned People Are Discriminated Against. I have Token Dark Girl, the It Dark Girl of the moment. And I might even write an updated version of Token Dark Girl and include Tisha as a Token Dark Girl, because she would be like the Token Dark Girl of the real estate industry. I can include her in one of those, because she's married to a successful real estate developer. How many dark-skinned women do you see in real estate development? And that's why you guys need to read my book, Token Dark Girl, because it is the first book to analyze dark-skinned girls in popular culture and how society allows for a few. And it's supposed to inspire the masses. But to me, that's darkism, because the fact of the matter is, in America, you have to work so hard. You have to work twice as hard as a dark-skinned black person to achieve. And so your chances, again, back to this issue of life chances, are more difficult when you're dark-skinned. And it's like dangling meat at a dog. And, the dog is Pavlov. Remember that? If you took psychology, Pavlov and the dog, they dangling, I believe it was meat. I could be wrong, but you know what I'm trying to say. Dangling some meat at the dog and knowing you're not going to give it to the dog, but you're saying it's here. And you knowing how hard it is. So Token Dark Girl analyzes how dark-skinned women may have token, the masses of dark-skinned women have token dark-skinned women placed in their face. And they say, well, you can achieve this because this dark-skinned woman achieved it, but you make it so hard. So I advise you guys to go and get my book, Token Dark Girl, the It Dark Girl of the Moment, and read the book. Read the book. I'm gonna see if I can go to my website here right now. Give me a second. The website is darkskinactivist.com. Let me go to my website, darkskinactivist.com. Again, how can you get the book? You can go to my Cash App, $Rashidalala, and you can get the book that way. Shoot me $40, and I'll send you an autographed copy. You can also, if you want to go to my website and purchase the book as well, you can get it from my website and you can get it from Amazon as well. So here's the book, Token Dark Girl, the It Dark Girl of the Moment. I highly recommend you read this book, darkskinactivist.com. Also, as the world's first and only dark skin activist, I continuously and have consistently produced plays and darkism talks about only dark skin, darkism, and colorism. Since 2006 is when I started the Dark Skin Activist Tour that features my creative work around only dark skin. And coming this fall, I will be producing another show. God blessed me to be able to produce my most recent show called A Dark Skinned Woman's Revenge back in June of this year. I produced the show online through pay-per-view live stream and also in Atlanta, Georgia. And so I continuously produce shows, and I will be producing another show. I don't know if it's going to be A Dark Skinned Woman's Revenge, but I have a huge repertoire of plays and shows that I have written about dark skin because this is what I do. I'm the only person, the first person to ever do this. Anybody else that does it behind me, you are copying me. That it is what it is. That's just the facts. Y'all can be mad. And I've been all over the United States. This is me at 950 Lounge, being interviewed at the 950 Lounge about my play, A Dark Skinned Woman's Revenge, in Bronx. I've performed the play in the Bronx, in well, I'm sorry, not in the Bronx, but Harlem. That's just where my interview was. In Brooklyn, Arizona, Florida, DC Black Theater Festival, Atlanta, and the list goes on. So this is what I do. I'm going to be here when all the copycats and fakes are gone. I'm going to still be doing this until the day I die. I have a huge body of work. So go to my website, darkskinactivist.com, learn more information, look out for my upcoming show and darkism talk on the Dark Skin Activist Tour. Become a member of the website. You can go and sign up. I also do my streams, special streams on my website, but you do have to become a member, okay? And when you become a member, you're going to be the first to know about when and where I'm going to be doing my show at. And my book that I have written called Inventing Dark Skin Activism, the Rashida Strober story, where I explain in detail with facts how I invented the first platform to fight against colorism, darkism, and dark skin discrimination. And then I brought it to the internet, and other people, including other Black women, stole, ripped off, and plagiarized my platform. So that book is coming out soon. So I want y'all to look out for it. I also do offer darkism and colorism counseling. I'm the first person to do so. So my website here, darkskinactivist.com. And I want to thank you guys for watching. And I'm rooting for Tisha. Let me scroll down so you guys can see where you can get the access to the free book. This is where you can get Darkism, a free download of Darkism right here. Okay, so you just scroll down to the bottom and fill out the information, and you can get a free electronic copy of Darkism. I am rooting for Tisha. Let me go back to my Facebook. I am rooting for Tisha because the marriage, the union of Tisha and Marsau Scott is the epitome of what dark skin activism was created for, and that is to bring the Black man back to the dark skinned Black woman in balanced numbers. Thank y'all for watching. Rashida Strober, the world's first and only dark skin activist. darkskinactivist.com. Like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I go live again. Thank y'all for watching.